Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Colton, and in today's video, I want to talk about my trip to Montana and share some of the photos and video that I got while I was there. Now, this was a relatively short trip, just 2 full days in Montana, which I can tell you now is not enough. But the whole reason I went up there was to participate in a comedy festival with my improv troupe. Yes, I have an improv troupe. Maybe that's a bit cringy, but we're really good. And we had a lot of fun in Montana participating in that festival. But because it was such a short trip, I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to shoot on a ton of different cameras. Usually when I travel, I'll bring multiple cameras, but this time I wanted to just bring one. The only problem was I wanted something that would do really good in stills and also in video, and I didn't have a good camera for that, which made me realize I'm missing a component in my setup. I've been thinking about this for months, and I ended up pulling the trigger on buying a newer camera, which I'll be selling the Sony a6400 because of that. I'll do that all in a separate video, but I bring it up here now because I do want to share that all of these videos and photos, for the most part, are shot on the Canon R7. Again, I'll do a separate video about why I picked that particular camera. There is also a couple photos and some B-roll footage that I shot on my Google Pixel 4 cell phone. So just want to call that out at the beginning. But one thing that was really nice when I got there into Montana, we went to our Airbnb and we had a phenomenal view from our Airbnb, essentially uninterrupted nature from any window in that house, which was really, really cool. Was a bit stormy when we arrived, but luckily that did clear up by the middle of the second day. So it wasn't anything detrimental. We did get some really great sunlight for the photos. But day 2, the first full day in Montana, we went out to Yellowstone National Park, had a great time, spent the whole day out there, and I want to share some photos from that experience. The hype is justified. This definitely was one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. If you haven't been to Yellowstone, add it to your list of places that you gotta go. It is not overhyped, at least in my opinion, in terms of how beautiful it was. So that was Yellowstone. Actually, right outside of Yellowstone, there's a small town called West Yellowstone that we drove through. And we stopped there to pick up some food, use the restroom, check out a few things, get some bear spray. And I was loving it. This town had a bunch of like old school motels hanging out. Really reminded me of the kind of hotels that you might see Sam and Dean from Supernatural stay in, if you've seen that show. They also had a older market that had like a lot of branding that made it feel like 90s-esque. And as I was walking through there, my friend said to me, like, this is the kind of, grocery store that you'd be in if you were in a horror film. And I was like, dude, that is so true. I love this. So really cool town. They also had a candy shop. And as someone who shoots a lot of candy, I had to stop in there and I was not disappointed. It was so well decorated. Everything made me want to photograph it. And of course, the staff were like, why are you taking pictures in here? But I showed them my profile on Instagram and all the candy artwork that I've done, and they thought it was so cool. But there was so much candy in there that I had never seen before that I just wanted to buy up a bunch of bags so that I could go take it and bring it back to Austin and photograph it. But I didn't think it would travel well, so I had to pass. But definitely would be a spot I would revisit if I was ever back in that neck of the woods. So really cool town. Could have easily spent an entire day just walking up and down the streets, up and down the alleys, shooting everything in that town and getting all kinds of cool street photography / photo walk-esque photos. So definitely an awesome second day in Montana. Now, the last day that we had, the last full day, we spent pretty much in Bozeman where the comedy festival was happening, and we stayed kind of in that downtown area. Kicked that off with a breakfast at the Western Cafe, which was a really cool, locally owned, authentic cafe. Kind of reminded me of like a Twin Peaks-esque type place that you might run into. And then after that, we went out to a grizzly bear rescue, which was really, really cool because we got to get up pretty close to the grizzly bear. He was in his enclosure and he was having a great day. He was playing with logs, splashing in the water, just having fun. And I thought, this bear is so cute. And then at the same time, this guy would literally kill me. He would rip me to pieces. This is a predator in the wild. Yet he's so cute, having fun, throwing his log around and running around. So I thought that was so funny and a really cute, memorable moment from Bozeman. After that, we went back downtown and hung out in the downtown area, ate at a pub, kind of saw some sights, did a little shopping, explored some of the back alleys and everything. And I want to share a few photos that I got from that portion of the trip. All right, and then we wrapped up that last day by doing our final show in Bozeman. And lucky for me, I was able to get my girlfriend up to speed on how to use this camera, and she was willing to take some photos of us for our final performance. So I got some really cool shots from her. Big thanks for her to do that for us. But it was such a great show. The audience was really, really into it. We were having fun, felt connected to the audience, connected to one another. and it just felt like we were on a roll. So I really enjoyed that. Probably one of my favorite performances with that particular group. But I do want to wrap up this video by showing a few more random photos from stuff that didn't fit into the earlier categories that I just talked about. And that's it for this Montana video. Again, all of these photos were shot on the Canon R7, and I'll talk more about that camera in another video. But I would love to know what you thought of the shots, the color science, the choices that I made, and which ones maybe were your favorite or your least favorite. And also, if you've been to Yellowstone, I would love any recommendations you have for points of interest in the Yellowstone National Park, so that one day when I return, I'll already know which places are must-sees for a photographer. But with that being said, that is the video. If you enjoyed it, do give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, if you want to join me on my photographic journey, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. That'll keep you in the know for when the next video drops. But for now, I'm Colton. I'll see you in the next one.